Hi, love. Gabrielle Moore here with a sexy confession, so be sure to keep this to yourself. You may know me from my numerous best-selling books and courses, such as Turn Her On Faster, where I reveal advanced foreplay techniques to give your lover the best foreplay she ever had. Or from Double Her Desire, where I teach various ways for you to turn those annoying no's into yes, please, don't stop, and have your lover beg you for hot sex night after night. Or from Female Orgasm Secrets Revealed, which led me to become Men's Fitness Magazine's go-to sex expert. Hot licks on how to have hot oral sex, and many, many others. But despite writing and teaching these advanced sex techniques to thousands of couples worldwide, there is still something I have not dared to openly talk about. Until now. Well, if you're thinking, come on, Gabrielle, what topic can possibly be too taboo for you? You're in for a real treat. In just a few moments, I'm going to reveal what this topic is, and it may shock you at first. Yet at the same time, I know it will also excite you greatly, since this often misunderstood subject is also the ultimate fantasy of many men. I'm not only going to show you how to make this deep fantasy of yours come true, but also how you can make it so pleasurable for your lover that she will want it every single time. So be sure to watch this short video carefully from the start to end. At the end of 10 to 15 minutes, your eyes will be open to a whole new world of sexy possibilities. I promise. In the first edition of the popular book, The Joy of Sex, published in 1972, Dr. Alex Comfort explained it best. He wrote, "This activity is something which nearly every couple tries once. A few stay with it because the woman finds that it gives her more intense feelings than the normal route and is pleasurably tight for the man." Wow! Is there something that can give your lover more intense feelings of pleasure, and yet it is even tighter for the man? You bet there is. I'm talking about anal sex for a straight couple. Now, if you're watching this video, my guess is that you have heard about anal sex before. You may even be curious to try it out for yourself, but don't know the best way to start. Indeed, there are many misconceptions surrounding anal sex, all of which are just not true. To make things worse, there is a lack of updated step-by-step material on this subject, which makes the whole topic of anal sex even more taboo and hush-hush. But here's the secret. If you learn the right way to introduce your lover to backdoor lovemaking, she may eventually become addicted to it. For some of you, this statement may sound wrong or even taboo. As I mentioned, there is indeed a lot of bad press around the whole subject of anal sex, and so I'm here to clear things up once and for all. Look, I'm not here to tell you whether you should or should not engage in anal play. That is 100% and totally up to you. Only you can make the decision for yourself. The only thing I can do is share what I know with you and help you make the right decision. If you have always been curious about anal play and yet found it awkward or clumsy, then this video will teach you how to derive maximum pleasure from it like a pro. It is my sincere belief that anal play completes an otherwise incomplete sexual repertoire. It is also my belief that no woman should hold herself back sex-wise because there are so many things that can greatly enrich your sex life. Anal intercourse is definitely one of them. You see, the reason why most couples do not engage in anal intercourse is because of all the misinformation that is floating around out there, most of which is simply not true. In fact, there are 7 lies about anal intercourse, some of which you may be believing in right now. The first lie is that anal sex is dirty. However, anal sex is really not that much different from normal vaginal intercourse. Anyone who follows normal hygiene rules ought to have a clean anus. More importantly, our waste matter is stored in our bowel and not in the anus. So there are steps your lover can take to keep that part of her body clean. The second lie is that anal play is painful. That can't be further from the truth. The new Good Vibrations Guide to Sex writes that the anus is rich in nerve endings, which means immense pleasure for your lover. In fact, the anus has far more nerve endings per square inch than any other part of the body, which means pleasurable sex like never before. If you rush things or are too aggressive, then it certainly will hurt. But hey, this is also the case for regular sex. The key to having pleasurable anal intercourse is to take things slow and warm things up the right way. The third lie is that it's dangerous for your health. Of course, if you don't use a condom or the right kind of lube, the same health risks apply. But if you use the right condom and maintain proper hygiene, then you'll have nothing to worry about. The fourth lie is that anal play causes incontinence, which is the inability to control one's bowel movements. It is important to understand that anal incontinence is caused either by severe damage to the muscles and nerves of the anus or by the brain's inability to control the body. It has nothing to do with anal sex as long as you go slow and follow my instructions. The fifth lie is that anal play is unnatural. Well, as I mentioned before at the start of this video, I'm not here to tell you whether you should engage in anal intercourse with your lover or not. I'm here to be frank about this whole issue and help you make a decision for yourself. As Alfred Kinsey, the famed sex researcher, once said, the only unnatural sex act is that which you cannot perform. Anal sex has been around for centuries, and people have long experimented with their bodies. The key here is that it's your body and your decision. The sixth lie is that anal sex is a gay thing. This is not true. There is just no link between anal stimulation and homosexuality. In fact, there's a shocking statistic. Less than 30% of homosexuals have regular anal sex, with most of them engaging in oral sex. The seventh lie is that women don't enjoy it. Anal sex when done wrongly can indeed be painful for a lady, but that's because many men are forcing their lovers to do it without being properly prepared. But here's the good news. The anus not only contains a large number of nerve endings which can be stimulated, but also sphincter muscles which grip and provide tightness upon entry. And I know from experience that every man just loves a tight bottom. Now that we have gone through the 7 lies of anal sex, you may be feeling a bit more curious about the subject. You may even want to try it out for yourself. But frankly, convincing your girlfriend, lover, or wife may be another matter altogether. So in this next segment, I'm going to give you 3 surefire steps that can warm her up to the idea of having anal intercourse with you. One word of warning though, you can't rush things. You have to go through these steps one by one until your lover is completely prepared and ready. All that bad press out there about anal sex is usually caused by rushing things before both parties are fully prepared for it. The first step to anal pleasure is to stimulate her mind. You want to make sure your lover is 100% mentally prepared, and this doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, the misconceptions about anal sex were formed over a long period of time, so it would take some work to tear them all down. Fortunately for you, I'm going to give you a few tips to subtly work at her underlying false beliefs, so things don't come as a shock to her. Remember, the worst way to engage in anal play is to ask her whether she wants to have it outright before she is even ready. In fact, this is the worst way to ask for anything. As I have always mentioned, the right way is to pop the question only when the time is right. Before you even think about having anal intercourse with your lover, you need to fix any breaches in communication. In your daily or nightly conversations, start talking to her about anal eroticism. Especially if your lover has not heard about it before or has not done it before, you need to spend the time talking to her and being open about it. I always advise men to share their deepest desires and fantasies with their lovers. Ask her to tell you what she thinks about it. If you have been fantasizing about having hot anal sex with her for some time now, be open and tell her about it. If you're curious, share your curiosity with her. You may be surprised if she feels curious about the same subject as well. Ask your lover for her thoughts on this. If her responses go along the lines of the 7 lies we discussed earlier, you are now in a position to have a meaningful and open discussion with her. Any form of sex is a team effort between the man and the woman, so be sure to spend time checking things out together. Don't force an answer from her if she's not ready. On the other hand, why not spend time researching and reading about the subject together? Do some research or read a few articles on the subject together to have a balanced view. You also want to talk to her about her fears. After extensive interviews with women all over the country, I have come to the conclusion that besides the pain factor, most women are simply worried about the mess. Women are very conscious about themselves, and they are worried that you will consider them dirty. One dirty secret to getting your lover to agree to anal intercourse is to convince her that this is no problem for you, and you will never, ever judge her negatively when it comes to this aspect. In fact, let your lover know that instead of seeing it as dirty, you see it as something kinky. Once your lover realizes that you are aware of her thoughts and also have an answer for them, she will greatly warm up to the idea of anal sex. The second step is to make her trust you. You see, anal intercourse is such a powerful fantasy for guys because it makes them fully in control. That's why anal sex is so charged, intense, and emotional. By placing herself in such a vulnerable stage, your lover needs to know that she can trust you 100%. In return, you need to assure your lover that she can trust you fully. You do so by working together with her each step along the way and by not abusing her trust. Many men make the mistake of forcing something upon their lovers, which can only breed mistrust. Last but not least, be patient with your lover. Anal sex is a gradual process of exploration, and it takes time. Take all the time she needs, and your lover will appreciate you for it. Once you have stimulated her mind using the 2 steps above, you're well on your way to the third and final step, stimulating her body. All the steps take time. They're not something that will allow you to have anal sex tonight, so give them a few days or weeks to work. But the rewards will be well worth your time and effort. You do want to have your deepest fantasies come true, don't you? After you have fully prepared your lover's mind, you want to stimulate your lover's body. Once again, I don't recommend doing it all at once. You want to take things slow, especially if anal sex is something new to your sex life. To do so, here's my 3-day method for slowly easing her into the routine of anal play. On day 1, start with a sexy shower together. There's nothing like a sexy and wet shower where you kiss, stroke, and massage every inch of her body and hear her moan with pleasure. Of course, this is the time you want to prime her for anal sex, so take time to massage her buttocks firmly, stroke and knead the muscles until they relax. You may also want to move your fingers into the space between her butt cheeks without inserting any. This allows her to be familiar with your attention on that part of her body. On day 2, surprise her with a good dose of oral stimulation. As your lover becomes more aroused, apply a generous amount of water-based lubrication to your index finger and begin to gently massage her anus. After a few minutes of anal massage, begin to gently push your finger against the opening of her anus with steady pressure. This allows her to be warmed and opened up for the act before moving on to the real thing. And wow, day 3 is where the action really heats up. Now that she is ready and eager for more, it's time to slowly insert your well-lubricated finger. You can even start moving your finger in and out, simulating intercourse. As you can see, it's really not that difficult to get your lover to agree to anal intercourse if you follow my instructions and know the right steps to take. Most importantly, you need to understand the psychological reasons behind why anal sex is commonly rejected by ladies in order to overcome these barriers. For men, I know that anal play is often one of the most sexually charged and intense sexual experiences you can possibly have. Not only are you in complete control while inside her tight ass, she's going to love the intense direct stimulation you give her. The truth is, there is so much more to anal intercourse for a straight couple than I can cover in this video. I hope I've given you a proper introduction to this subject, but if you'd like to learn more, such as how to proceed after you have opened your lover up to the idea of anal play and move into full-blown anal intercourse, or some of the more pleasurable sexual positions for anal play, then you must check out my brand new course titled Anal Pleasure for Her. Anal Pleasure for Her is my first graphically illustrated anal play manual for straight couples. Not only do I cover the various positions for anal lovemaking in great detail, taking you step by step through each position, I also reveal what you should do when you're behind and inside her to bring the passion and lust in your bedroom to a whole new level. Here's the thing, if normal sex just isn't cutting it for you anymore, or if you don't find your lover as responsive or tight as before, why not try Anal Pleasure for Her? You'll love it, and she'll be asking for more. Click on the button below this video right now to download your copy of Anal Pleasure for Her. Limited copies available, so be sure to download your copy right now. And by the way, since you're one of the first to watch this video and get your hands on my latest course, I want to do something more to reward you. For a limited time only, I'll also send you a copy of my latest book, Forbidden Female Fantasies Revealed, worth $47, completely free. This book reveals the 10 deepest, darkest, and most erotic fantasies your lover has but does not dare to tell you. Imagine being able to read her mind tonight and play out some of her most forbidden fantasies. This book, not available elsewhere, takes all the guesswork out of figuring what she wants but is too shy to tell you. You'll learn how to give it all to her as I reveal your lover's naughtiest, dirtiest wet dreams and sexual fantasies. Oh, by the way, if you download your copy of Anal Pleasure for Her right now after this video, you get it at 1/3 of the usual price. Here's my personal promise to you. If this course does not take your sex life to a whole new level of pleasure, the course is free. Test drive it for a full 8 weeks and fill your nights with intense, passionate lovemaking. Don't delay. Click on the button below now so I can help you fulfill your deepest sexual fantasies soon. Kisses from Gabrielle Moore.